When Chris Horner brought Sergio Perez to Red Bull, he was praying that Checo will be able to stay on Max Verstappen's level. But what he didn't consider was what if Sergio Perez could actually pass that level. Many people were surprised by his 2 racing triumphs this season, and he did that with a Max Verstappen right behind him. Marko Helmut, the team advisor, had made a few statements regarding the 2 drivers and their role at the team from now on. In today's video, we'll see what Helmut had to say about his drivers, and what is the spirit at the team right now. Verstappen's impressive performances and success on the track have consistently placed him ahead of his teammates in recent years. It's no surprise that Red Bull made him the face of their team and devoted all of their efforts to supporting him in his quest for a championship title. And it paid off handsomely, with 2 titles in the bag and another on the way. There is no question about his status as number 1 at Red Bull because he has clearly established himself as such. Except for Daniel Ricciardo, Verstappen's Red Bull teammates haven't been able to put up much of a fight. Both Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly were unsuccessful. Indeed, Gasly suffered so hard at Red Bull that he was demoted to Toro Rosso midway through the 2019 season. Albon started well, but was unable to constantly challenge Verstappen. He was fired at the end of the 2020 season and was replaced by Perez in 2021. While Gasly and Albon had some excellent performances, they were always overshadowed by Verstappen and fell short of Red Bull's expectations. Verstappen distinguishes himself from his teammates by delivering consistent performances race after race. He has repeatedly demonstrated that he possesses the mental tenacity and focus required to perform at his peak, even in the most trying of conditions. For the time being, the team seemed eager to let their 2 drivers to race each other, certainly in Baku, where Sergio Perez held off Max Verstappen almost the whole race. Can he, however, equal Max's consistency? Marko seemed to believe he can't. There I see Max in front again. In qualifying, as in Baku, Leclerc could be fast, but the race should be ours again. And I'm sticking to my guns. Over the season, Max Verstappen is the man. He's the more consistent one. Verstappen's domination over his teammates extends beyond race results to his ability to continuously extract maximum performance from the car, as evidenced by his pole positions and best laps. The crucial word here is consistency. This is a valuable skill in the world of Formula One, where races are won and lost by fractions of a second. With Perez's arrival, a new dynamic arose at Red Bull. Red Bull appeared to have discovered a driver who could perform to their very high standards and possibly challenge Verstappen on track, with 2 strong drivers capable of pushing each other to new heights. Despite some promising performances by Perez over the last 2 years, Verstappen has continued to dominate and establish himself as the team's number 1 driver. The question has always been when and if another teammate would actually challenge and outperform Verstappen. This year appears to be the year since the answer to that question is currently extremely close to yes. Marko admits that the Mexican driver is doing all possible to prove everyone wrong. Perez overtook Verstappen at the Baku Grand Prix, thanks to a stroke of luck. The appearance of the safety car was timed to punish Verstappen, who had been leading. However, after Verstappen quickly repelled Ferrari's display, Perez declared that he had his teammate under control all the way to the checkered flag even before the safety car arrived. Marko urged not to overlook Perez when he featured on the F1 Nation podcast, with 1996 world champion Damon Hill claiming that Verstappen appeared to be faster than Perez in open air. An all-out Red Bull title fight could be in the cards. Marko also emphasized Perez's growth since joining the team. He was unlucky with the safety car, yes, but Sergio on the street circuit. He has the most podiums here, so don't underestimate Sergio. He changed a lot since he came to us. He started working. Before he was a Mexican race driver who was enjoying life, he still does, but does the necessary work. Team principal Christian Horner recently lauded Perez for his great weekend in Baku, his phenomenal driving on the track, his command of the race, and, most importantly, for having opened a distance between himself and Max. While Verstappen still had a point advantage, Perez's impressive results demonstrated that he is capable of battling Verstappen and pushing him to his limits. It's still early in the season, and anything can happen, but Perez's victories and podiums are more than just a ray of hope. We all need to see movement at the head of the grid. And given that Red Bull appears to be winning both championships this year, an entertaining battle would be the least they could do. One thing is certain, Perez is not here to play second fiddle. But can Perez keep giving Verstappen a run for his money? His consistency has been questioned frequently, and his abilities have been deemed unable to compete with Verstappen's. Horner recently lauded Perez for his great performance at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, where he won ahead of Verstappen, but also underlined the issue of Perez's inconsistent performance. "He just needs to do it at a normal track now," Horner joked. "He's excelled at street circuits. All his victories for us have been at street tracks. We just need to get him going on the proper circuits," said Horner. Verstappen did not arrive at Red Bull fully formed. He wasn't always the constant beast he is now. Actually, he was inconsistent when he first joined. He seemed to be all over the place, and people always use this as an excuse for why he could never compete with the greatest in the sport. Red Bull, on the other hand, changed that. Something about how they manage and train the drivers behind the scenes contributes to their success. Damon Hill compared Checo's situation to that of Daniel Ricciardo. He rejoined Red Bull Racing as a third driver for the current season. McLaren's stint ended early after 2 lackluster years, having witnessed his nightmare. They also said the similar thing about Daniel Ricciardo coming back to them, Hill noted. They put him in the sim and they looked at the way he's driving and they were saying he's picked up lots of bad habits. We don't know where he's been, but they ruined him and now they're reteaching him. Retrain the driver. So at Red Bull, they don't just provide you with the car, they actually teach you to drive as well. Red Bull's approach to driver development and training, as well as car development, is clearly paying off, and their performance is predicted to continue. Nevertheless, which of their 2 drivers will emerge as the winner? We have no idea. Both have performed admirably on the track, displaying a healthy rivalry and pushing one another to achieve their full potential. And while we expect them to stay free to compete, as confirmed by Horner, there is suspicion that team orders may be used, or that one driver would be put in peril. Max has been the star of the show at Red Bull, and his quest to become a world champion has been the team's primary emphasis. That has already occurred. But will Red Bull allow another driver to win? Or do they want to keep piling championships on Verstappen in the hopes that he would eventually shatter the world championship title record with them? Red Bull has been here previously, but they have had 2 drivers competing for the same position on the circuit, which has caused them problems, most notably during the 2018 Baku Grand Prix, when Max and Daniel crashed while fighting for a spot. Daniel was still a novice driver at the time, and Max was not the racer he is now. Marko is fine with an intra-team struggle between Verstappen and Perez, and does not expect the squad to meddle like they did in 2018. Of course, they will not allow Max to lose against Checo, and you're most likely correct. Max has been Red Bull's main guy since joining Toro Rosso in 2015. Since then, he's proven that he too deserves to be the number 1 driver. Nonetheless, if we believe Red Bull, the 2 are free to fight, and that they will not intervene. Christian Horner, CEO of Red Bull, has declared Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen free to race. Red Bull has previously been chastised for appearing to favor one driver over another. Horner, on the other hand, argues that they will be permitted to fight as long as they are clear of their opponents. It remains to be seen how the rest of the season plays out, and whether Perez can continue this level of performance and actually challenge Verstappen for the championship title. Who do you believe will triumph? Please share your thoughts in the comments area. On your way out, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more excellent F1 stuff. For the time being, bye.